Hey folks, Jack McNiel here with the Kempner Church of Christ, and I want to share this today with you, just a little nugget of wisdom from the book of Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 4, it says, "The soul of the sluggard desireth and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat." Who is a sluggard? Proverbs, often makes comparisons between the sluggard on one hand and those that are diligent on the other. Webster's dictionary defines a sluggard as a person habitually lazy, idle, and inactive. The Hebrew word that is rendered either sluggard or slothful, both terms are synonymous with idleness or laziness. And so, what defines a sluggard? A sluggard is a person who aspires to acquire certain things or wants to better themselves, but they don't do anything about it. That person is a sluggard. The sluggard wants, but he cannot obtain because he will not do what needs to be done. His desires are more really what we would consider wishful thinking. A person like this, the desire to achieve is not really there, because if it was, then he would rise up and do something about it. And so that's what the slothful or the sluggard is. Who then is the diligent? The diligent is the one who is willing to sacrifice and to work hard to achieve his desire. Diligence implies a mindset geared toward achievement. The diligent person works hard, perseveres, and endures hardships that are required as they relentlessly pursue their goal in life. Their soul is made fat, which, when used figuratively, means to be prosperous. The soul of the diligent prospers, while the soul of the sluggard will be in want. When you make that spiritual application to these ideas, the spiritual sluggard is the one that says they want to be a faithful Christian, but they just don't do the things that are necessary because they've fallen into a pattern and life is easy, and they don't want to make the actual changes. Whereas the one who becomes a Christian, the one who becomes a faithful Christian, is one that not only has the desire but rises up and does something about it, obeys God. My grandmother used to have something that she would always say when one of us as grandkids would say, "Well, I wish I had whatever." Well, she would say, "Well, hold out your hands. Now spit in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up the fastest." This is her way of teaching that if you want a wish to come true, then you need to do something about it. We read about a slothful person in Matthew chapter 25. There's a parable that Jesus tells about a Lord that goes away and he leaves some of his money into the keeping of three different men. To one he gives 5 talents, the other he gives 2 talents, and the third he only gives 1 talent based upon their abilities. And when he returns after a long time, the one who was given 5 talents now has 10. The one who was given 2 talents now has 4. Whereas the one who was given 1 talent, he buried the money in the ground. And when the Lord returned, he answered and said in verse 25, "And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine." His Lord answered and said unto him, "Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him that hath the 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." The Lord expects us to take what we have according to our several abilities and put it to use in his service. And when we do so, we're going to be blessed. It's not necessarily because we don't have the power, but if we put our trust in the power of God. In Hebrews 6 verses 10 through 12 says, "For God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints," and do minister. "And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the hope, or to the full assurance of the hope unto the end, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises." Again, the soul of the sluggard desires and has nothing. The soul of the diligent will prosper. Let's be diligent in growing and studying and learning from God's Word and being disciples of Jesus Christ. Hey, thanks for joining us this morning. You have a blessed day.